Let me tell you, success doesn't just happen overnight. It's not about luck or some secret recipe that only a few know. Success comes from what you do every single day, the habits you develop and the choices you make. Those things define you way more than your talent or where you come from. It's not a big leap or a lucky break or one grand move. It's all about those small, consistent habits you stick to over time. People often look at others' achievements and think they were just born with some amazing talent. Everyone gets unique chances, but if you look closely, every big success has a backstory filled with hard work, persistence, and daily routines that might seem pretty normal to outsiders. It's the little habits that, when practiced consistently, build up momentum. They're like the unseen threads that come together to create something great. The beauty of these small habits is in their simplicity. It's not about making huge changes overnight, but rather committing to tiny actions that match your goals. Think about planting a tree. You start with a seed. A seed is tiny, almost like it doesn't matter. But when you plant it with purpose and water it every day, you don't see much at first. Days turn into weeks, then months, and the progress feels slow. But below the surface, the roots are spreading and anchoring the plant in place. Eventually, you notice a little sprout breaking through. That's how small habits work. They might not give you quick results, but they build up over time. A lot of people miss the power of these habits because they don't realize how important they really are. People often think that success means making huge changes to their lives all at once. When they don't see results right away, they give up, thinking their efforts are pointless. But success isn't about doing amazing things every now and then. It's about doing regular things really well on a consistent basis. It's not the big, flashy moves that matter, but the steady, everyday work that lays the groundwork for success. Take someone who wants to be a writer. They don't just wake up one day and write a bestseller. Instead, they commit to the process. Writing a bit every day, maybe just 500 words. Some days, the words come easily, while other days, it's a struggle to write anything. But I show up anyway, no matter how I'm feeling. Over time, those daily words add up into chapters and eventually a full manuscript. Writing becomes a habit, and with each session, I get better at it. This principle holds true for anything, whether it's mastering a sport, learning a new language, or building a business. Consistency takes discipline. It's easy to feel unmotivated sometimes, but it all starts out with a fresh and exciting goal. But as motivation starts to fade, that's when discipline takes over. Discipline is all about doing what you need to do, even when you're just not feeling it. It's about staying on track when distractions and excuses try to pull you away. Success tends to go to those who can push through when the initial excitement fades. Being able to stick to your habits, even on tough days, is what really sets the achievers apart from the dreamers. One of the reasons small habits work so well is that they create a ripple effect. Every positive action sparks another. For instance, someone who commits to working out for just 10 minutes a day often ends up making better food choices, sleeping more soundly, and feeling more energetic. These little changes boost each other, making a bigger difference. The same applies to bad habits. Skipping one task might seem minor, but it sets a bad trend. Before you know it, one missed task becomes a week, then a month, and your progress comes to a halt. The key to forming good habits is having clarity. To make progress, you need to know what you're aiming for and why it's important. Vague goals like, I want to be successful, or I want to get fit, don't give you a clear path. Instead, break your goal down into smaller, actionable steps. If you want to save money, Start by putting aside a little bit each week. If you want to improve your skills, commit to practicing for 30 minutes a day. The more specific and manageable your habits are, the easier they are to fit into your routine. Another key part of building small habits is keeping track of your progress. You can really see how much progress you've made, and that keeps you motivated to push on. It also helps you spot patterns, what's working and what's not. Tracking doesn't have to be hard. It can be as easy as putting an X on a calendar for every day you stick to your habit. Over time, those marks give you a visual reminder of your commitment and progress. And don't forget, setbacks are totally normal. Nobody's perfect, and there will be days when you mess up. What really counts is how you bounce back instead of dwelling on it. Don't sweat it if you slip up. Just get back on track. Missing a day isn't going to ruin your progress, but turning that one day into a bunch can. Think of each day as a new chance to start fresh. The little habits you pick should match what you care about and what you want in the long run. They should feel important, not just something you do because you feel like you have to. When your habits have a real purpose behind them, they stick better. Like, if you want to spend more time with your family, make a plan to do that. Having dinner together isn't just something to check off your to-do list. It's a way to strengthen the relationships that really matter to you. Over time, these small, consistent habits change who you are. When you make them a daily practice, you start to see yourself as someone who values growth, discipline, and excellence. You become a person who cares more about making progress than being perfect, taking action instead of making excuses, and being persistent rather than relying on short-lived motivation. Success is really just the total of all these little efforts. It's not a finish line you cross. It's a journey you take on every day. Each little habit is a step forward. By sticking to these small habits consistently, you pave the way not just to success, but to a deeper feeling of fulfillment and purpose. That's what success is really all about. Having a vision is super powerful. It shows us what's possible and paints a picture of the future we want. It motivates us, pushes us, and gives us direction. But just having a vision isn't enough. No matter how big your dream is, it'll stay just that. A dream, if you don't take action. Vision might spark the fire, but it's the actions you take every day, no matter how small, that keep it going. Just having a vision isn't enough. Without discipline, your actions can become all over the place and won't really get you anywhere. Success comes from mixing vision, action, and discipline. Having a vision without taking action is like looking at a map but refusing to walk. You might know where you want to go, but if you don't take that first step, you'll never get there. A lot of people get stuck in that trap. They're just dreamers, always talking about what they want to achieve. They picture themselves at the top and even make plans, but that's where it ends. When it comes to putting in the hard work, they hit a wall. They get caught in this loop of wishing and waiting, thinking the perfect moment will just show up. But moments don't magically become perfect. It's the effort you put in that makes them that way. Action is where the real magic happens. It's the link between dreaming and actually getting things done. But if you take action without a clear focus, it doesn't get you anywhere. It's like trying to cross a river without a bridge. You might take a step one way, then another, but you'll just end up wasting energy and getting nowhere. That's where discipline comes in. It gives you the structure and consistency to make your actions matter. It's not enough to just do things. You've got to do them with purpose again and again, even when it's tough, when you're exhausted, or when you don't see quick results. Discipline is what sets apart those who succeed from those who just wish they could. It's easy to feel motivated when you're excited, but that motivation doesn't last. What really sticks is discipline. It's about getting up early and working on your goals, even when you'd rather hit snooze. It's choosing to say no to distractions and yes to what really matters. Discipline means showing up regularly, no matter how you feel. It's the backbone of making progress, because without it, your actions won't have direction and your dreams will stay just out of reach. Think about a farmer planting seeds. Seeds in the field represent the big harvest he dreams of for the future. The action is all about the hard work of planting those seeds. But without discipline, without showing up every day to water the plants, pull the weeds, and take care of the soil, his vision of a harvest will never happen. Success is just like that. You have to work on your goals every day, not just when you're feeling motivated or when it's easy. Discipline is the daily commitment to do what needs to be done, no matter how you're feeling. That's the link between vision and reality. Action and discipline go hand in hand. Vision shows you the reason why, action shows you the way, and discipline keeps you on track. If you have one without the other, you'll just end up stuck. A vision without action is just a dream, and action without a vision is just wasted effort. Discipline makes sure that what you do matches your vision, creating a cycle of progress that brings you closer to your goals. Sometimes, people have a hard time with discipline because they want quick results. They believe that as soon as they start doing something, success will just show up, knocking on their door, but success doesn't just happen like that. It takes patience, persistence, and the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward, even when things are moving slowly. It shows you how to trust the process and look at the bigger picture instead of seeking instant rewards. Success is all about putting in the work consistently, even when no one's cheering for you or when you can't see any results. Another big hurdle is the fear of failure. People often hold back from taking action because they're scared of messing up. Making mistakes is part of the game, but failing isn't the opposite of success. It's actually part of it. Having a vision gives you the guts to dream big, but it's taking action and being disciplined that help you bounce back from setbacks. Every failure teaches you something and brings you one step closer to your goals. Discipline keeps you from throwing in the towel when things get tough. It helps you adjust, tweak your strategy, and keep pushing ahead. In the end, success isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey made up of small, consistent steps over time. Vision shows you the way, and action gets you moving. Staying focused and disciplined keeps you on track. Together, they create a strong force that can tackle any challenge. When you mix these three things, you become unstoppable. You don't just dream, you make things happen. You don't just begin, you see things through. You don't just wish, you accomplish. So if you've got a vision for your life, don't let it just be a dream. Take action. Start small, but start today. And when the excitement wears off, let discipline push you forward. The road might be long and the journey hard, but with a clear vision, you can make it. With action and discipline, there's nothing you can't achieve. Remember, it's not just the dreamers or the doers who succeed. It's the ones who dream, take action, and stay disciplined in their quest for greatness. Mistakes are a part of life that no one can dodge, no matter how careful, talented, or experienced you are. While a lot of people see mistakes as things to fear or shy away from, they're actually some of the best teachers we'll ever have. The reality is, learning from your mistakes is way more valuable than avoiding mistakes. Might seem like the best way to go, but every mistake teaches you something, and those lessons help you build wisdom, resilience, and strength. The people who really succeed in life are the ones who accept their mistakes, learn from them, and grow. If you're too scared to make a mistake, you end up playing it safe, missing out on opportunities to take risks, try new things, or push yourself. You just stay in your comfort zone where everything feels safe, but that's not where you grow. Mistakes are just part of the journey. Stumbling blocks show you what doesn't work, helping you see what does. If you completely avoid them, you miss out on chances to learn, adapt, and grow. Growth takes effort, and with effort comes the risk of failure. That's not something to be scared of, it's something to welcome. Just think about a kid learning to walk. They trip and fall over and over before finally taking those first confident steps. Each fall isn't a failure, it's a lesson in balance and strength. Without coordination, a kid would never learn to walk. As adults, we often overlook this simple truth. We're so afraid of making mistakes, as if they define who we are, but really, they shape us. Every mistake is a piece of the puzzle that makes us stronger and more capable. Mistakes force us to think. When things go well, we hardly ever stop to figure out why. Success can feel like it just happens, but failure grabs our attention. It makes us ask questions. What went wrong? Why did this happen? How can I do better next time? Questions lead to insight, and insight leads to growth. The lessons we learn from our mistakes are really personal because they come from our own experiences. They stick with us way longer than any advice or textbook lesson could. Mistakes also teach us humility. They remind us that we're not perfect, we don't have all the answers, and there's always room for growth. This humility makes it easier for us to improve ourselves. When we acknowledge our mistakes, we become more open to feedback and more willing to learn from others, be less defensive and more flexible. This way of thinking is super important for success because the world is always changing, and if you don't adapt, you'll get left behind. A lot of the fear of making mistakes comes from worrying about what others think if you mess up. But here's the thing, everyone screws up. It's just part of being human. What really counts is how you deal with those mistakes. Do you throw in the towel and let it define you? Or do you dust yourself off, learn from it, and try again? The second option takes real guts. Being resilient and strong earns you way more respect than being perfect ever will. Mistakes teach you resilience too. Life throws all kinds of challenges your way, and things don't always go as planned. When you tackle your mistakes directly, you develop the mental toughness to deal with setbacks. You come to understand that failure isn't the end, it's just a detour. This resilience is what sets apart those who reach their goals from those who throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. The more mistakes you encounter and learn from, the better prepared you get. To take on bigger challenges in the future, mistakes can actually open up unexpected opportunities. Some of the biggest discoveries in history came from mistakes. Take penicillin, for example. One of the most important medical breakthroughs was found by accident. The scientist Alexander Fleming could have seen the contamination in his experiment as a failure, but instead, he looked at it closely, learned from it, and changed medicine forever. This kind of mindset is what turns mistakes into stepping stones. Mistakes on the road to success teach us to think outside the box. When the usual ways don't cut it, we're pushed to come up with fresh solutions. This trial and error process often sparks innovation. Each mistake nudges us to look at things differently, tackle problems from new perspectives, and consider options we might have overlooked. So, mistakes aren't just hiccups, they're chances for discovery and growth. The secret to learning from them is all in how we deal with them. We can't just brush off a mistake. We need to really think about it, figure out what went wrong, and come up with a plan to not let it happen again. This takes being honest with ourselves, knowing our strengths and weaknesses, and being ready to take responsibility. Blaming others or making excuses just holds us back from growing. Owning up to our mistakes is the first step in learning from them. And let's not forget, not all mistakes are the same. Some are minor and can be fixed easily. Sure, some mistakes might have bigger consequences, but no matter the size, every mistake has its worth if we choose to see it. Even the toughest mistakes can teach us something valuable. They can show us where we're missing the mark, challenge what we think we know, and push us to improve. The scars from our mistakes aren't signs of failure. They're badges of experience and growth. In the end, mistakes are just part of the journey to success. They aren't things to dodge, they're chances to learn. By learning from them, we gain wisdom and resilience. When we gain strength, we get better at dealing with life's challenges and feel more confident in our ability to tackle them. So don't fear mistakes. Embrace them. They're not the end. They're just part of becoming the best version of yourself. Successful people get that truth. Success doesn't happen in a bubble. No matter how talented, skilled, or hardworking someone is, being able to build and maintain relationships and work well with others is what really matters. What makes them different is that they value connections, teamwork, and collaboration more than personal pride. They get that the group's strength is way more important than any one person's achievements. This mindset isn't just a tactic, it's a way of life that influences everything they do. At the core of this approach is the understanding that relationships are key to success, both personally and professionally. People who focus on building strong relationships know that trust, respect, and mutual support are essential. They know that nobody achieves anything significant all by themselves. Behind every great leader, entrepreneur, or innovator, there's a team of people who help them get there. Smart folks take the time to understand others, appreciate what they bring to the table, and create a space where everyone feels acknowledged. Prioritizing relationships over ego takes humility. It means recognizing that you don't have all the answers, and that others have important perspectives too. When you're open to learning from others, it creates a vibe of teamwork where ideas can bounce around freely and creativity can really take off. On the flip side, when someone is too caught up in their own importance, it can kill that process. They might ignore others' ideas, turn down help, or have a hard time being part of a team. Smart people get that the goal isn't about showing who's better, but about getting the best results together. Teamwork is the foundation of this whole idea when people collaborate. They bring a mix of skills, experiences, and perspectives to the table. This collective strength helps teams tackle problems better, come up with creative ideas, and get things done more efficiently than anyone could alone. Effective people recognize this dynamic. They know that the team's success benefits everyone. They don't look for personal credit. They share it, celebrate their colleagues' wins, and support each other during tough times. They get that the team's win is really their win too. This whole teamwork thing goes beyond just work. In personal relationships, good people value open chats, empathy, and compromise. They know relationships take work and are ready to put in the effort to keep those connections strong. They really listen, offer help when it's needed, and show they appreciate the people in their lives. By putting relationships first, they build a network of trust, support that helps people tackle life's challenges with resilience, and confidence means valuing relationships and teamwork over ego. It takes emotional intelligence to do this. Smart people know their own feelings and can read the feelings of others. They use this understanding to handle conflicts, build connections, and create a positive vibe. They get that being defensive, stubborn, or always needing to be right can hurt relationships and slow things down. So, they focus on what really matters. Understanding compromise and finding solutions that work for everyone is key. One of the best things about focusing on relationships is how it builds loyalty and trust. When people feel valued and respected, they're more likely to go the extra mile to support a common goal. Take effective leaders, for instance. They earn their team's loyalty by genuinely caring about and appreciating what they bring to the table. They make an effort to understand their team members' strengths and goals, creating opportunities for growth. Growth and development build a culture of trust where people feel safe to take risks, share ideas, and give their best effort. Choosing to focus on relationships and teamwork shows a long-term outlook. Sure, acting out of ego might bring quick recognition or success, but it usually ends up harming relationships and missing out on opportunities. Smart people do the opposite. They invest in relationships, knowing those connections will pay off down the road. In the future, they realize that having a good reputation for working together, being respectful and fair, can lead to opportunities that no solo achievement can match. It's key to understand that focusing on relationships and teamwork doesn't mean sidelining your own goals or downplaying your individual contributions. It's really about matching your personal ambitions with the bigger picture. Smart people know that by lifting others up, they make it easier for themselves to succeed too. Lead with empathy and integrity, making sure your actions lift others up instead of bringing them down. This way of building relationships and working together often means letting go of your own pride and ego, which can be tough. It's about being ready to own up to your mistakes, giving credit to others, and knowing when to take a step back. But the benefits are clear. By putting connections before ego, you build stronger teams, create meaningful relationships, and achieve way more success. In the end, people really get that success isn't just about what you achieve, but also about how you make others feel and the legacy you leave. When you pick relationships and teamwork over your own ego, you spread positivity, collaboration, and growth. You inspire others to follow suit, creating a cycle of shared success and achievement. That's the real power of prioritizing relationships. It not only helps you hit your goals, but also lifts everyone around you. Making a better and more connected world means bouncing back from failure. It's a key part of achieving greatness because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's actually a crucial part of the journey. Nobody accomplishes anything great without facing obstacles, setbacks, and disappointments. Those tough moments challenge our strength, determination, and our willingness to keep going, no matter what. Resilience is all about getting back up after you fall, adjusting when things don't go as expected, and pushing through even when the going gets tough. The future looks uncertain, and that's what sets apart those who give up from those who actually make it. Failing often feels like hitting a dead end. It can really shake our confidence, challenge our self-belief, and make us wonder if we can reach our goals. But it's exactly in those tough moments of doubt that resilience becomes crucial. Resilience isn't about dodging failure or acting like it doesn't sting. It's about confronting it directly and deciding to learn from the experience. It's about realizing that failure isn't the end. It's permanent unless we let it be. Every failure teaches us something, gives us a chance to grow stronger and wiser, and helps us come back better than before. Greatness isn't about living a life without failure. It's about how we handle it. History is full of amazing people who faced repeated setbacks on their journey to success. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors ever, famously said, "I have not failed. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His determination kept him moving forward. Even with tons of setbacks, the end result was a groundbreaking legacy that changed the world. This way of thinking, seeing failure as a stepping stone instead of a roadblock, is what helps resilient people achieve great things. Resilience teaches us to view failure as feedback, not a final judgment. It changes our mindset from "I failed" to "What can I learn from this?" When we tackle failure with curiosity and a desire to learn, it turns into a really effective teacher, giving us valuable insights with every setback. Let's break down what went wrong, what we could do differently, and how we can get better moving forward. This whole process of reflecting and adapting is key to growth. Resilient people don't just sit around moping over their failures. They look at what happened, learn from it, and use those lessons to move ahead. Resilience also helps us toughen up mentally. It boosts our ability to deal with tough situations and stay focused on our goals, even when things get tough. Every time we get back up after a setback, we remind ourselves that we're capable. Being able to get through tough times, this self-confidence becomes a source of inner strength that helps us face future challenges. Resilience doesn't mean failure stops hurting or making us feel down, but it gives us the tools to push through anyway. It shows us that setbacks are just temporary and that sticking with it will eventually pay off. One of the coolest things about resilience is how it can turn failure into motivation. For a lot of people, failing can feel like a reason to stop trying, but for resilient folks, it just fuels their determination. They take their failures and use them to sharpen their goals, tweak their strategies, and strengthen their commitment to success. Resilience flips setbacks into chances for growth and fresh starts. It shows us that the road to greatness is hardly ever a straight shot. It's a mix of highs and lows, twists and turns, and times of doubt that eventually lead to victory. Failure also keeps us humble. It reminds us that none of us are perfect. There's always more to learn, and being humble is key to being resilient. It helps us grow when we're open to admitting our mistakes and asking for help. Resilient people aren't shy about seeking advice or trying new things. They know that failing doesn't define their value, but rather gives them a chance to improve. Resilience isn't something we're just born with. It's a skill we build over time through our experiences and challenges. Overcoming challenges makes us stronger. Resilience is built during tough times when we decide to keep pushing on instead of giving up. It grows when we face discomfort, take risks, and step out of our comfort zones. The more we work on being resilient, the easier it gets, and the better prepared we are for future setbacks. Achieving greatness means being able to move forward even when things get tough. It takes courage to dream big, the determination to take action, and the resilience to stick it out. Setbacks are a part of life, and while resilience doesn't make things easy, it keeps us pushing forward until we get where we want to be. It's about believing that failure isn't the end, seeing every challenge as a chance to grow, and knowing that anyone can achieve greatness if they don't give up. In the end, it's that ability to bounce back from failure that turns regular efforts into amazing successes. It's the inner strength that helps us get back up no matter how many times we stumble. It reminds us that success isn't about never failing. It's about never giving up. Every failure we encounter brings us closer to who we can become, and every act of resilience gets us one step nearer to greatness. Good habits come from being humble and committed to lifelong learning, because growth is an ongoing journey, not a final stop. The most successful people know they're never done evolving and tackle life with the mindset that there's always more to learn. Learning more to get a better grip and improve this mindset comes from being humble. It's about realizing that no matter how much you know or what you've achieved, there's always more to learn. This humility pushes you to stay committed to learning, which builds the habits that lead to success. People often mistake humility for weakness, but it's actually a strength. It takes guts to admit you don't have all the answers, to recognize your limits, and to ask for help or advice from others. Humility helps you see there's value in every experience and in every person, no matter where they come from or what their status is. It helps you stay open to new ideas, perspectives, and feedback. When you're humble, you don't let your ego or fear of being wrong hold you back. You start to see mistakes as chances to grow, challenges as lessons, and success as something we achieve together instead of just on your own. This kind of humility makes you more willing to keep learning. Those who are dedicated to lifelong learning get that the world is always changing. What worked before might not work now. Just because something worked yesterday doesn't mean it'll work tomorrow. By staying curious and open-minded, people make sure they're always adapting and improving. They look for knowledge from books, mentors, experiences, and even their failures. They don't shy away from the discomfort of not knowing. Instead, they use it to push themselves to learn more. This habit of learning turns into a cycle. The more they learn, the more they realize how much more there is to understand, which keeps them growing. Good habits come from mixing humility with a desire to learn, because both these traits lead to success. Being self-aware means that when you're humble, you really take a good look at yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures. This self-awareness is key to building effective habits. You start to spot where you need to improve and take intentional steps to fix those areas, whether it's getting better at managing your time, improving how you communicate, or leveling up your technical skills. Self-awareness helps you zero in on the habits that will truly make a difference. Lifelong learners get this too. They're really adaptable and know that the only thing you can count on in life is change. They build habits that help them deal with uncertainty when new challenges come up or when they find themselves in unfamiliar situations. Instead of backing away, they welcome the chance to learn something new and get stronger. This adaptability turns into a habit of its own, a way of facing life with resilience and confidence. By committing to learning, they arm themselves with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in any situation. Another important part of being humble in learning is being open to feedback. Smart people don't avoid constructive criticism, they actually look for it. They get that feedback is one of the best ways to grow. Instead of getting defensive, they use it to fine-tune their habits, boost their performance, and get better results. This willingness to accept feedback comes from humility, a recognition that there's always room for improvement and that other people might notice things you don't. It shows how committed they are to learning, since they're always looking for ways to improve. Being humble and open to lifelong learning also helps them develop habits of gratitude and teamwork. Humble people recognize how others have helped them succeed and regularly express their appreciation. They get that success usually isn't a solo effort and that teamwork and support from each other are crucial. This mindset creates a collaborative spirit where they're eager to share knowledge and listen to others. People collaborate and strive for shared goals. These habits foster a trustworthy and respectful atmosphere that boosts collective success. Being committed to lifelong learning keeps these habits fresh and adaptable. Effective individuals don't settle into their routines. They regularly assess and tweak their habits to match their changing goals and situations. They ask themselves questions like, Is this habit still working for me? What can I improve? What new habits do I need to pick up to achieve my goals? Leveling up, this constant reassessment keeps their habits meaningful and effective. One of the best things about being humble in learning is that it helps develop habits that inspire others. Humble, curious people lead by example, showing everyone around them how important it is to keep growing and improving themselves. Their openness to learn, adapt, and change pushes others to do the same. So, their habits create a ripple effect, building a culture of growth and positivity that spreads far and wide. Effective habits aren't about being perfect or hitting a final goal. They're about the continuous journey of becoming the best version of yourself. This journey takes humility to see where you can get better, and a commitment to learning so you can make those improvements happen. It's not about what you accomplish in one moment, but about how consistently you show up every day, ready to learn, grow, and contribute. When humility and lifelong learning are at the core of what you do, that's where real progress happens. When you build these habits, you become unstoppable. You gain the resilience to tackle challenges, the curiosity to explore new possibilities, and the wisdom to navigate a world that's always changing. You realize that success isn't about how much you know or what you accomplish, but about how much you grow, how much you give back, and how much you inspire others along the way. These habits aren't just tools for success, they're what make life truly fulfilling.